After the attack on Pearl Harbor, the United States was officially at war. The American people were outraged, and the government mobilized for a massive military response. But the early months of America's involvement in World War II would be filled with setbacks, brutal battles, and hard lessons. This is the story of how the United States began its fight back. In the Pacific, Japan continued its expansion. Within weeks of Pearl Harbor, Japan launched attacks across the region, taking control of the Philippines, Guam, Wake Island, and parts of Southeast Asia. American and Allied forces, unprepared for the speed of Japan's advance, were forced into retreat. One of the first major defeats came in the Philippines. US and Filipino forces fought bravely, but by April 1942, they were overwhelmed. Over 70,000 American and Filipino troops were forced to surrender, leading to the infamous Bataan Death March, where thousands of prisoners died from exhaustion, disease, and harsh treatment. Meanwhile, in the Atlantic, German U-boats were attacking American ships along the US East Coast and in the Caribbean. The United States was now fully engaged in a two-front war, fighting in both Europe and the Pacific. But America didn't stay on defense for long. The first major counterattack came in April 1942 with the Doolittle Raid, a daring bombing mission on Tokyo and other Japanese cities. Though it caused minimal damage, it sent a clear message. The US was striking back. Then, in May 1942, came the Battle of the Coral Sea, the first naval battle in history where ships never directly fired on each other. Instead, aircraft carriers launched attacks. The battle ended in a strategic victory for the US, stopping Japan's advance toward Australia. Finally, in June 1942, the tide of the war truly began to turn at the Battle of Midway. In one of the most important battles of World War II, the US Navy sank 4 Japanese aircraft carriers, crippling Japan's offensive capabilities and shifting the momentum of the war. The early months of America's involvement in World War II were filled with challenges, losses, and uncertainty. But as the months went on, the United States adapted, regrouped, and prepared for the long fight ahead. The war had just begun, but the turning point was coming. What do you think was America's most important early battle? Let us know in the comments. And if you're following this journey through history, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode, where we'll cover the war in North Africa and the Allies' first steps toward defeating Germany. Thanks for watching.